I'm Elizabeth at A Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I have a PhD in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists, and as you might expect, I love to read. Today I wanted to talk about some of the 2026 releases I am looking forward to. So I did this for 2025 releases in January of 2025, and some of them had already come out. So I thought it would be better suited to do this in December, before any of them had come out. What a concept, right? So yeah, I'm not a huge new release person. I read mostly backlist stuff because first of all, I read mostly classics, which, you know, are old by nature of being a classic. But even then, I'm not like a huge new release person, but I do have ones that I'm interested in. So I've got 7 books that I wanted to talk to you about. Let's jump in. The first one up is Through Gates of Garnet and Gold by Shannon McGuire. This is book 11 in the Wayward Children series, and it is coming out on January 6th. I love this series, and McGuire has consistently put out a book in it every January. And it makes me so happy. But what makes me especially happy is that we are returning to a character and a world that I am really excited to see again. The Wayward Children series follows children who have been to portal worlds, kind of like Narnia or Wonderland. The odd number books follow them after they have gone through the portal and then come back, and kind of the resulting trauma of that, because that would be rather traumatizing, but don't you think? The even-numbered books see their adventures in the portal world. So we have an odd-numbered book, which means we are continuing kind of the main through plot of the series. So I think I'll read the summaries from Goodreads. After Nancy was cast out of the halls of the dead and forced to enroll at Eleanor West's School for Wayward Children, she never believed she'd find her door again. And when she did, she didn't look back. She disappeared from the school to resume her place in the halls, never intending to return. Years have passed. A darkness has descended on the halls, and the living statues who populate them are dying at the hands of the already dead. The lord and lady who rule the land are helpless to stop the slaughter, forcing Nancy to leave the halls again, this time on purpose, as she attempts to seek much-needed help from her former schoolmates. But who would volunteer to quest in a world where the dead roam freely? I'm so excited for this. Nancy is my favorite character from the series, and I have always wanted to see more of her world, the Halls of the Dead. We hear about it in the first book, Every Heart a Doorway, which we are following Nancy as she goes to Eleanor West's school after having been to the Halls of the Dead and then come back. We also see it briefly in the third book, Beneath the Sugar Sky, while the kids from the school are on a quest to bring back another schoolmate who had died. It's a whole thing. We don't have time to discuss all that. But Nancy is my favorite. I find the Halls of the Dead fascinating, and I cannot wait to see more of that and more of her. This is especially exciting for me because I found the last installment a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, that was adrift in currents deep and clear, I think. And yeah, it was not my favorite. So the fact that we are going to a world that I really, really want to see more of with a character who I adore is like, yeah, I'm getting psyched. Also coming out on January 6th is The Swan's Daughter by Roshani Chokshi. This is a retelling of Swan Lake. I have not read Chokshi's previous book, The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, but I have some friends who adore it and who insist I will also adore it because I love fairy tales and retellings. So did I put that on my Christmas list this year? I don't remember. It's been on there a few times. I haven't gotten it yet. I could just get it from the library, which is probably what I'm going to do with The Swan's Daughter. Also, look at this cover. Oh, beautiful. All right, so Prince Eris knows that marriage means murder. Okay. Thanks to a poorly worded wish to a sea witch, all one needs to rule the Isle of Malice is the heart and hand of the kingdom's heir. Historically, this has been construed quite literally. Oh dear. Thus, Eris expects that the day after his marriage and murder, he will wake up as a sentient tree alongside the rest of his predecessors. His only chance at a long life is finding true and lasting love. While Eris's parents announce a tournament of brides to compete for his hand and heart, a slew of eligible, lovely, and possibly murderous bachelorettes make their way to the Wraith Castle. Oh my god. Amidst glittering balls and Ozorald caves? I don't know what that means. Strolls through menageries of daydream trees and pearl crocodiles, tea time on glass boats, and kisses that leave his head spinning, Eris cannot tell who is here out of love for him or just for power. Until he meets Demelza. As a Veritas swan, Demelza's song rings out the truth. Forced into hiding, Demelza strikes a deal. Eris will provide her with safekeeping in exchange for her truth-telling song to sort through his potential brides. While Eris is used to dodging death threats and Demelza is accustomed to fighting for her voice to be heard, to survive the tournament of brides requires a different kind of bravery, and perhaps the bravest thing one can do is not merely protect one's life, but find the courage to chase a life worth living. That sounds so interesting, and I love Swan Lake. Swan Lake is one of my favorite ballets, has been since I was a child, like absolutely obsessed with it. Barbie at Swan Lake, great movie. The Swan Princess, did anybody else watch that? 90s kids loved that growing up. So I'm super excited for this retelling because it just sounds really interesting. I've heard that Chakshi's writing is just gorgeous and it sounds like it'll be really fun. So the next one is actually one that I just recently found out about. It is by an author who I am not familiar with, but this book just sounded really interesting. This is The School of Night by Karl Ove Knausgaard. I googled the pronunciation and now I don't remember it. But yeah, the name will be here. I'm pretty sure he's Norwegian. So this book has been translated into English. It originally came out in, I believe, Norwegian in 2023. And now on January 13th, 2026, the English translation by Martin Aitken is being released. It's technically the fourth in a series, but the reviews make it sound like it can stand on its own. And I'm really hoping so, because I'm not that interested in the other books in the series, but this sounds really interesting. It's 1985, and the young and ambitious Christian Heidland is moving from Norway to London to study photography. He throws himself headfirst into the bustling art scene and finds himself at a crossroads, ultimately deciding to pay any price for success in his early career, willing to sacrifice everything and to stop at nothing. 24 years later, Christian has achieved everything he's ever desired. Now an art photographer with a major retrospective in New York City, he sees his world around him begin to crumble as his past catches up to him and he faces his evil fate. In a thrilling twist on Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus, and set in the occult universe of The Morning Star, The Wolves of Eternity, and The Third Realm, Knausgaard masterfully spins a dark cautionary tale about the lengths we will go to achieve success and how far we are willing to fall. It sounds right up my alley. Like, it just does. I love a good Faustian bargain. It sounds like the main character, Christian, is at least for some of this going to be at school studying photography, which I love a good university setting. and this just sounds like something I'll really enjoy. So hopefully I will. Next up is another translated work. This is Sakura by Kanako Nishi, translated from Japanese by Allison Markin Powell. So this originally came out in 2005, but is just now finally being translated into English, being released on March 3rd. I don't know why it took so long, because apparently this is like a major bestseller in Japan. Sakura is the story of a family who is happy until it isn't. Skipping back and forth in time, it begins when the narrator, Kaoru, receives a letter from his estranged father announcing he will be home in Osaka for New Year's. The letter spurs Kaoru to go back to his childhood home, and though he is apprehensive at returning, his spirits are unexpectedly lifted when he is greeted by Sakura, the family dog. Love a good dog story. Growing up, the Hasegawas were the perfect family. Kaoru's loving parents doted on their children. Kaoru's baby sister Miki was cute and charismatic, and his older brother Hajime, a natural leader, athlete, and charmer, was the superstar. The middle child, Kaoru, was good at school, but not a star student, friendly with girls, but never popular. He was content to exist in Hajime's shadow, occasionally bask in his light. Then Hajime was involved in a tragic accident that fractured the Hasegawas, with nothing to keep them together but memories and melancholy. Returning home, Kaoru and his family must find the strength to reckon with the past and pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. Luckily, there is Sakura, who somehow has managed to stay happy. What's her secret? As the Hasegawas learn to let go, it is Sakura who holds the key to help them move forward. Am I gonna sob? I'm gonna sob. Absolutely. I love an animal story. It sounds like what happens to the brother is gonna be kind of upsetting, potentially, but it does sound just really sweet that the family dog is like gonna bring them all together. And I love that type of thing. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. Next up is a sequel to a book I read earlier this year. This is The Witch Queen by Heather Walter. It is the second book in the Crimson Crown duology, which is a retelling of Snow White. This is going to be released on June 23rd. The sequel to The Crimson Crown, in which Aelith, once a talentless witch cast out by her coven, has embraced her dark destiny and vows revenge on all who have wronged her. Jaquetta battles her loyalty between her coven and her heart, and Blodwyn seeks to unravel a mystery at the heart of her family. That's all it really says, which is good because otherwise you'd get spoilers for the first book if you haven't read it. So I'm like hesitantly excited for this one. So Heather Walter has a previous duology, Malice and Misrule, which is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. I really enjoyed the first book, but the second book I was kind of disappointed in. Actually, not kind of, like just straight disappointed in. So I enjoyed The Crimson Crown a lot, but I'm a little bit worried that we're gonna have a repeat of last time. So I don't know. I do really want to see how it ends because there were some interesting twists on the Snow White story. And we didn't see a lot of the Snow White character in the first book. We were really with Aelith, who is the evil queen character. So I'm like, I really want to see more of the Snow White character. So we'll see what happens. I am like tentatively excited. Next up is Heartstopper Volume 6 by Alice Oseman, coming out on July 7th. There's no blurb for this, but Heartstopper is following Nick and Charlie, two high school boys who have fallen in love, and just their relationship as they go through school and navigate life. It is so sweet. I love this series. I have probably actually read most of the chapters that are in Heartstopper 6 because Oseman posts them on Tumblr well ahead of when they're published in volume form. The thing is, I don't read them in order. So I just read them when they come across my dashboard. And so I'm like, where's this part take place? I have no idea. So it's good to read them in order. I had that experience with volume 5 as well, and it was fun to see, oh, here's how it all fits together. Excellent. There's no real cover yet, but I mean, July is still kind of a long way away, kind of, I say. But I am excited for this. I don't know if this is, oh, it says it's the 6th and final installment in the Heartstopper series. I had thought they said about volume 5 though, so I'm like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see. And then the final book does not have like even a placeholder cover. So I will hold up the previous 2 books in the series, but it also does not have a release date. Yeah, I know that it's going to be coming out this year though, or in 2026, because the author had hoped to have it out in September of 2025, and it just didn't happen. So this is going to be the 3rd book, or well, technically the 6th book in the All for the Game series by Nora Sakavic. So the series is kind of broken into 2 trilogies. The first trilogy dealing with Neil Jostin, and then the second trilogy dealing with Jean Moreau. Jean Moreau is an XC player. XC is a fictional sport that's kind of a cross between soccer and hockey on steroids. He has just gone to play for a new team, the Trojans, and he's got some trauma from his past team, the Ravens, because they are horrible. And there's a whole big thing. This is a sports mafia romance, okay, guys? Like, yeah. Are those words you expected to hear in a sentence together? No? Yeah, didn't think so. Anyway, we are really following Jean's relationship with Captain Jeremy Knox. So this 3rd book is called The Broken Cage. And I want to see how this ends. I love these books. I don't care if they're not good. I still love them. Sakavic has this habit of just like dropping the books. Like they're just suddenly released, and I find out via one of my friends on Tumblr screaming about them. So that's how it's gonna be with this one, I'm sure. No release date. It'll probably like drop in October, and I'll see friends shrieking about it and be like, I didn't know, and then go immediately buy the ebook and then later buy the physical copy when it comes out. They are self-published books. So I'm really excited for this though. And then we're gonna have a whole 3rd trilogy after this, it sounds like, following another character. And I'm like, very excited. So those are the 2026 releases that I am really looking forward to. Let me know down in the comments below. Are you looking forward to any of these? What are some others that you are looking forward to that I haven't mentioned? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.